What's up guys, my name is Mars, welcome back to another video. Back to my F1 2019 career mode episode 8, and today we have ahead of us the Canadian Grand Prix. If you haven't watched the previous episode, that was the Monaco Grand Prix, the jewel of the calendar. I highly recommend to go check it out. It was an absolute bang of a race, and spoiler alert, we were very happy in this race, so like I said, I highly recommend to go check it out if you haven't watched yet. But before jumping into Canada, we are doing an invitation event with me and my teammate driving the 91 McLaren, and he's an overtake challenge. I always like to make these overtake challenges because you feel like a superhero. Yes, trying to overtake first place, and woohoo! That was very close, a very close call, but a nice switchback. So here is the replay. That was something else. A little bit scary, but we survived. That's what matters, and a beautiful camera shot for good measure. And yeah, into P1. And we beat our teammate. Just showing the replays, that was freaking close to lose our front wing, but unfortunately we survived to that. Just to see the onboard camera of the slower car, and look at the speed difference, is absolutely monstrous. So we won the challenge, we passed the challenge, that's what that matters. So now we are back into our laptop in the office, and we have in our way for this weekend 3 brand new upgrades ready. 2 from the aero side things and 1 from the engine. 2 minor upgrades, I believe. So this is going to really help us out, and we have a major upgrade coming to the next episode around Paul Ricard. But now we are really on the midfield, so we overtook Renault and McLaren, as you can see in the performance chart, but we are very close to Racing Point and Haas, so things are going to be very close on the midfield. Maybe we can be best of the rest in this episode, that would be great, but let's see what we can do, because Canada is a power circuit and our engine is not the best. But in terms of the aero side things, we are the 4th best team, so we are doing an amazing job on the aero. As you can see, we have at the moment 4 upgrades, so in terms of aero we are very good, so I'm hoping to make good performances, especially on the chicanes. But in terms of chassis, we are the 3rd worst team, but hopefully in the next episode at the French Grand Prix we're going to move some places in terms of chassis. But that's in terms of performance, practice done, all that stuff, all those formalities. So let's go to qualifying. That now we're going to have Q1, Q2 and Q3 in this career mode, because I think the time between Q1 to the short qualifying and the full qualifying is not very different. So in terms of losing time, I don't lose that much time. So we're going now on this career mode from this episode onwards. In this career mode we're going to do full qualifying. So that's it. Let's see what we can do in qualifying, and let's see if we can get to Q3.
Welcome again then, and we hope you're ready for another fantastic session as the teams prepare to unleash their cars for qualifying at the Canadian Grand Prix. The competition is certainly heating up as we head into today's qualifying. Some impressive times showing up during the previous practice sessions. Anthony Davidson, do you think we can expect a similar level of skill to be showcased during today's qualifier?
Well, I certainly hope so. The competition here is extremely tight, and I think we might see some very close times today. Remember, practice isn't just about fastest lap times though, it's about optimization, it's about ratifying your decisions. No one's going to be sweating small mistakes here and there, but in qualifying that all changes. You need to nail that perfect lap or face the consequences, and believe me, that's a lot of pressure.
So here we are on the final straight, and let's see if we can get out of Q1. The lap has been pretty good. Not risking at all, because we're going to make a second run through the last chicane and we're going to cross the line, and we've gone fastest for now with a 111 flat basically, and for now we are in P8. So I was doing pretty well. Our teammate is going to improve into P12, but now we are doing our last run and we are in P9. So but I decided not to risk, because in the final runs of Q1 a lot of people improve. As you can see, we are not improving now because we made contact with the wall. Thankfully we didn't lose any bees our front wing. Now we made contact, now we lose, but unfortunately not going to improve in this lap, but it's going to be still enough to get us through into Q2 with the 10th fastest time. So a little bit I could not go to the track, but I decided not to risk. And the Red Bulls of Verstappen and Gasly in P13 and P15 respectively, and our teammate Alex Albon splitting the both Red Bulls. So can we beat the Red Bull this weekend? Probably not. It's just Q1. It's the early stages of qualifying, but we have a brake fault, so we have our key 2 runs. Our first run was delayed, and here we are doing our first run on the soft tires. We can't make the medium, so we're going to start in the race in the soft tires if we get into key 3. But at the moment we are in P13, and at the moment we are not in the key 3 places. So let's see what we could do entering in our second lap, and let's see if we can find some time. For now we are losing time, but really attacking this chicane. Very close to the grass, and we found 2 tenths there. So and these let me say, these air upgrades are really coming handy. So I hope we get to key 3. That would be very good, but I think the straight line speed is not the best, so we lose a little bit of time on the straight and really attacking the chicane. And we're going to open the DRS, and we're going to cross the line. But unfortunately, despite going purple on the 3rd sector, because we really attacked the chicane very aggressively, it wasn't enough to get us into key 3, and unfortunately we are out of key 2 with the 11th fastest time. So I could say it's not the end of the world, because we are in P11. We're going to be the first with a free show soft tire, but I believe that strategy is everyone starting on the soft, but at least we're going to have the new softs, brand new softs for the race. But unfortunately our rival Lucas Weber got into key 3, so at the moment we are behind in the championship, but let's see what we can do the race. I really want to finish ahead of Lucas, so and both Renaults didn't make the time, so that's really odd. Because I think one of them set the time, but then the time was deleted. I don't know if it's that a glitch or something, but maybe they cut the corner and the FIA didn't like it. I don't know, but I think it's a glitch. So let's forget about qualifying. Let's see what we can do in the race, and let's see if we can score some good points.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average lap speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. It's a favourite for fans and drivers alike then here in Canada. We're used to seeing the unexpected happen here, and with me today to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who knows firsthand the surprises that can pop up in this race.
I do indeed. I had a good chance at some points here in 2007, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. My old colleague Takuma Sato, though, he managed to finish 6th, so the team took home 3 valuable points, and that was a big boost to everyone at the time. I'm not sure I can think of anywhere else that so consistently provides the kind of late race excitement we get here. Obviously, towards the end of the Grand Prix, the brakes are getting worn, maybe the weather situation has changed, so there's a lot to keep fighting for all the way up to that final corner.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Vettel, Pierre Gasly and Perez, Verstappen, Stroll, Weber and Kevin Magnussen, Thomas, Albon, Devon Butler and Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Grosjean, Robert Kubica and Lando Norris. Russell and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Jeff, and welcome guys to the Canadian Grand Prix, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and here we are starting in P11 in Toro Rosso. So let's see what we can do, let's see if we can get some points. We are close to the points paying position, but you have a long race to go, 35 laps to go, and the strategy wise is 2 stops, so it's going to be the softs, mediums, and I think we can go much anywhere else. So I think that's a strategy for all drivers. But here we go, ready to the Canadian Grand Prix, 5 red light, 35 laps ahead of us, and it slides out and away we go. And it was an absolutely terrible start, but let's see if we can see make something up of inside. We go up of inside for Kevin Magnussen, so going very aggressive on the start. Remember that Magnussen has one tire than us, so we can play on our favor maybe in these early stages of the race, running outside, trying something, but Magnussen has the inside line. We ran a little bit wide. Albon, our teammate, takes a look, but we defend that position. So heading to the hairpin, we're going to make the dive bomb of the century on Kevin Magnussen on the ass. And can we make the move stick? Yes, we can, and that's us into P10. And now we are chasing down our Formula 2 rival Lucas Weber, but at the moment no DRS, everyone is bunched up, so everyone is into the stream, and it's Charles Leclerc, despite Lewis Hamilton taking pole position, that leads the way with quite a margin. So maybe the Mercedes were scoring a little bit. They are very close, and that's allowed to Charles Leclerc to take the early advantage of this Canadian Grand Prix. But this is in the next lap. The Mercedes are squabbling. They are, I believe, because they are very close. And there's Hamilton on the outside of Valtteri Bottas. This is for a P2 position, and this is not very good because Charles Leclerc is gaining even more time through the chicane. And they are still side by side, so very close action in the early stages of the Grand Prix, and Sebastian Vettel can maybe take the pieces of the battle between the two silver arrows. He's going up of inside of Lewis Hamilton, and Verstappen on behind them, very close to them. So maybe we can see Verstappen joining to these two, but at the moment Red Bull seems a little bit inferior to Ferrari and Mercedes, but Hamilton keeps that position. And here we are back into our POV in lap 3, chasing down Lucas Weber, and we are getting very close. The chicane is a really strong point for us. We really attack with very aggressively the chicane. So here we go, DRS open and overtake mode, and we're going to make a dive on the inside. We got purple thanks to the slipstream and the DRS, and in the chicane we are very close, and that was a pretty easy move. And here we are into P9, but Lucas Weber maybe has a word to say, because in this exit of this chicane we are not very famous. And there goes Lucas Weber trying something on the outside, but going to be late on the brakes and try to close the door. Very aggressive in our former F2 teammate, and we maintain the position for now, but now he's vulnerable to Kevin Magnussen. That is going to make a fake to the right and a move to the left, and he's going to make the dive on the hairpin. So the AI very aggressively around Canada. I don't think that the AI would do such moves like Magnussen did now on Weber in F1 2018, but we're going to focus on the race because these two have DRS because of me, and Magnussen trying something, but Lucas Weber doesn't give any room. But now Kevin Magnussen is going to have DRS once again, another straight. He's going to try something. He's weaving on the track. He's going to the outside. Can he make the move stick? Can he stick with Lucas Weber? But Weber somehow finds the traction and maintains P10, I believe. So this is Sebastian Vettel trying something on Lewis Hamilton for the last podium position. Things are getting hot between Ferrari and Mercedes, but I think in terms of performance shot, Mercedes is superior, but it seems that Ferrari is very strong around Canada. And up of inside Sebastian Vettel he goes. The two championship rivals going side by side. This is a beautiful scenario. The two championship unfortunately it's not for the race win. That would be even more amazing, but Hamilton's maintains the position. This is Max Verstappen that is behind the Racing Point, so Racing Point really using the straight line speed of that Mercedes engine. That Verstappen now is behind, not anymore, but this is not over yet. Oh no, because these guys are going to have DRS, and there goes Lance Stroll, the man of the house, on his home Grand Prix, going on the outside of his teammate Sergio Perez. But Sergio Perez gets ahead, but Stroll is going to have the inside still. So these two are fighting so hard that it is allowing me to catch these two. And let's see if we can have a good fight between the two Racing Points. They are still side by side, but Sergio Perez maintains ahead of Lance Stroll. But let's see if we can get a good battle between the two Racing Points. And the last time that we had the battle between the two Canadian cars. It was at Azerbaijan, and that didn't end well. So let's hope for a good fight if that's happened. But that was Lucas Weber defending from Kevin Magnussen, and Devon Butler and defending for our teammate Alex Albon, that at the moment is not on the points. So we are carrying the flag in terms of points in the Constructors' Championship for Toro Rosso still in P9. But as we're seeing some smoke on his Lance Stroll. He's had an engine failure, and I believe that's the end of his home Grand Prix, the Canadian Grand Prix. And that's very unfortunate for the man on the house. And unfortunately, no safety car or virtual safety car. So it's very hard to the safety car appear on this CS game. I don't know why, but there's Lucas Weber and Kevin Magnussen still battling for the last points paying position. This is amazing. Two drivers battling for just 1 point, midfield things, you know. But there go Lucas Weber diving on the inside. These guys can't stop fighting to each other, and this is allowing Devon Butler and our teammate to catch them. So let's hope for our teammate to maybe take the pieces of these fights and maybe score some points. They're still side by side through the first chicane, and this is amazing, side by side heading to the second chicane. But Magnussen gets ahead finally of Lucas Weber, and I think it's going to be like this. So heading to the stop phase, and this is Sergio Perez fitting the medium tire. So there's not much to go in terms of strategy. There's not gambling or something like that. But we decide to stay one more lap to see if we can get the overcut on Sergio Perez. And this is Charles Leclerc. He already made a stop, but ahead of him it's myself on the Toro Rosso, and we're going to let Leclerc by. We're going to He was weaving. I left some room, but he decided not to go. But I'm going to let Leclerc go to get some slipstream on the straight and try to gain some time on Sergio Perez. But as you can see, Leclerc is going to lock up, and this is going to slow me down for a lot. And this is not playing how I was going to plan, and now we're going to be forced to lift a little bit before going to the pits, because Leclerc is going to break to the chicane, and we're going to go straight. So we're going to lift a little bit, and here we go to the pits, and we're going to get rid of this old set of soft tires and the tire wear around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is not very high, so I didn't mind to go one more lap. So here we go, dressing the brand new set on medium tires, a little bit slow on the exit. But let's see what we can do. I think, and there's our teammate Alex Albon that entered in the same lap, and yeah, it's a double stack, and he's going to lose a huge amount of positions. And this is Lucas Weber battling again with Kevin Magnussen. So Lucas Weber, our former F2 teammate, really wants his points, but he can't do anything. And this is Devon Butler on our teammate that is on the soft tire. So I don't know if I think this is after this is before the first stop. So just showing to you guys what was happening with my teammate. I think he is nowhere near in this race, so my teammate is not doing very well in my F1 2019 career mode. This is the two Red Bulls of Verstappen and Pierre Gasly. Gasly is at the moment is ahead of Max Verstappen. This is after the stop phase, and there goes Verstappen, the two Red Bulls fighting, and Verstappen goes on the outside. Can he make the move stick? Gasly is going to have the traction on the outside somehow, and the AI gets a lot of traction on the outside line, and Gasly now is ahead, but Verstappen is going to have the inside line, and they go side by side for the chicane. So the AI putting good fights around Canada, and they are still side by side. This is amazing between the two Red Bull boys. No team orders, remember, because this is a video game. That's the beauty of a video game. And Gasly now is behind, but he's going to have DRS, and he's going to go round the outside, try something. But Verstappen has the inside, but Gasly has the balls to get on the inside, somehow finds the gap. But he gets a little bit slowed down. This is in the same lap now. Gasly has the DRS. They're going side by side, heading to the chicane. Can Gasly make something? And he has inside. He has a bit of oversteer, and he gets behind Verstappen. But he has DRS. But unfortunately, he's not too close enough. And that was a beautiful fight, almost side by side for a full lap around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And this is Charles Leclerc. He pitted 2 laps later than Lewis Hamilton, so Mercedes taking the gamble of pitting Hamilton much earlier, 2 laps earlier. And let's see if I don't know if Leclerc is going to lose the lead. There's Hamilton, and I believe that Charles Leclerc that was leading the Canadian Grand Prix till now, because Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of this Canadian Grand Prix. And what a gamble for Mercedes for pitting some laps earlier, and that's maybe Ferrari once again ruined the strategy, and this is Verstappen on the second stop, fitting the hard tire. So maybe the tire wear on Verstappen is so bad that he decided to fit the hard tires, or maybe he didn't have any new medium tire. So that's a very interesting call from Verstappen. So can we challenge Verstappen, because he in a slower time compound, and maybe you can challenge the Red Bulls, I don't know, but unfortunately maybe that's not going to happen. But here we go, we're going to be ahead, just ahead of Devon Butler, and that's very important because we don't want to manage traffic, because yeah, we are trying to get close to Sergio Perez. It was a very quiet second stint, but this is, so we are showing a lot of replays. One of the Red Bulls locks up because we have a three-way fight between Sergio Perez and the two Red Bulls. I think who's leading the train is Max Verstappen, and now Sergio Perez is going to try something on the outside of Pierre Gasly that I believe, I don't know if you can see, but Pierre Gasly lost an end plate, a right end plate of his front wing, so maybe it was with all that fight with Verstappen. So the Red Bulls came too much close, and Gasly unfortunately lost a little bit of his end plate, and Sergio Perez clearly superior in that racing point. So we're going round the outside of Pierre Gasly, a pretty sweet move, but Gasly is going to have DRS, so he's going a great job despite not having an important bit of his front wing. So Gasly on the slipstream, DRS open, and can he make the move? He's going to the outside, so he's going to be hard because he don't have the downforce that he should have. But let's see, he's still there, but now this is on our POV just to see how close we are. It was a very peaceful race for now, till now. The second stint was pretty quiet, no action, so we are showing a lot of replays for that. But this is Gasly on the outside of Sergio Perez, and unfortunately he lost a lot of momentum, and now we are on the tail of the Frenchman. Can we make something overtake a Red Bull car? That would be great in terms of contrast. We're going to try on the inside, but the move isn't there, and remember, it's a Red Bull, so we're going to stick with him. We have to play smart because probably we're going to be in that team because we are performing very well at the moment. So here we go, we're going to open the DRS, really attacking the chicane. Gasly is clearly struggling with the front wing damage, and we have DRS, he has as well, but we have the slipstream, and we're going to dive down on the inside, so close to contact. We're going to try to all around the outside, and we made a little bit of contact through the end in frustration, but Gasly is going to stay behind, and that's us, ladies and gentlemen, into P7, as my voice cracks a little bit. That was a beautiful scrap with the Red Bull, and that was it. We overtook a Red Bull, and Sergio Perez actually overtook Verstappen on the outside, so it wasn't very good for Red Bull, but we're heading to the last corner, and it's going to be a great race for us, a good amount of points. P7, it was a good race. Unfortunately our teammate didn't score any points, but very happy still.
Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Who would have thought that we would overtake a Red Bull today? What a race, very happy. Yeah, Gasly had damage, but still he gave a good fight, and this is going to be huge in our contract because we remember Toro Rosso is the sister team, so this is really going to help us out in terms of contract because remember that my objective is going to Red Bull, but P7, 6 points in the bag. That was a very good day. Unfortunately, our teammate, at least he maintained the position, but that squabbling with the Reynolds and Devon Butler that really penalized him, and Lucas Weber took the final point. So in a nutshell, it was a very, very good day. Lance Stroll was the only DNF in his home Grand Prix. So now let's see how the driver standings look like. And it's confirmed we overtook Lucas Weber, so a very positive episode. We are 3 points ahead, and that's what really I want, that is be ahead of Lucas Weber and Devon Butler, and we are close. We are I believe we are 7 points away or be best of the rest. So can we be best of the rest? Our progress in terms of performance of the R&D is being very positive, so we might have a chance to be best of the rest in some occasion in this championship. And with this we are promoting to P5 because the McLarens and the Alfa Romeos didn't score any points apart from Lucas Weber that scored 1 point. So a very positive episode, and we are a bit far from Racing Point unfortunately because our teammate is doing anything. You just have 4 points, but yeah, it's us carrying a flag. But now let's go to Claire to an interview.
Let's have your thoughts. That race put you ahead of your old F2 teammate in the championship. How competitive are the two of you?
Here we're going to be a little bit knife. We're going to the left-hand side option. That is going to be a boost in terms of reputation with our team.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
Some moves were pretty easy, so we're going to say that there was no struggle. I just pushed as hard as I could, and this is going to notice in the durability section.
You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
Here we're going to be showmanship, and yes, I'm quite frankly, I'm a little bit offended, Claire.
Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
And here we're not going to say anything because I think there was no contact, it was just close racing, so we're going to no comment with that.
Appreciate your time.
And that concludes the episode of my F1 2019 career mode, the Canadian Grand Prix. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you do see more Formula 1 content. It really motivates me to make more, and we are with a good relations in all departments, so that's very good. And we're going to buy an upgrade for the next episode, that is going to be the energy recovering system upgrade, and this is going to allow us to save even more ERS, because I really struggled to save the ERS in the first race, so it's going to be very useful, and we can't improve much more in the engine because of our contract. We're going to have as well a major chassis upgrade, and here I decided to go with a front downforce upgrade because I feel a little bit of understeer on the car, and we're going to keep our improvements in the aero side things. But that was the episode, guys. We are doing very good improvements, and if things go well we might be ahead of Haas, but we have to wait and see. Another 3 upgrades for the 3 different departments that can give you performance. So that was the episode, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Things are really going in our way today, and maybe we can be best of the rest at the end of the season. It's very early, it's just episode 8, but remember that our objective is reach Red Bull and win the championship to get Red Bull back to those glory days. But once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time.